A brutal first map for 100 Thieves as Gen.G comes out swinging and crushes 100 Thieves on Ascent. It's kind of odd, Vansili, when we look at this. We'll just start right into it. Coming into this tournament, 100 Thieves looked really good throughout all of VCT, but coming into this, they lose to Sentinels. They're 12-3 coming into today. Gen.G is 4-6 on the map. It's not something that I would statistically give them an advantage over 100 Thieves with. What happened?
I think I'm going to start with a quote that Warden did from Icebox, the coach of Icebox. He was quoting out Paul Bryan saying, "It's not the will to win that matters. Everyone has that. It's the will to prepare to win that matters." And I think for Gen.G, they had that preparation go into the game because it looks like they had the game plan knowing how 100 Thieves played this very map. It didn't look like 100 Thieves came unprepared. It was just over-preparation from Gen.G. How many times did we see smokes coming out from Gen.G on the attacker side on middle? I didn't see that many, if not at all. So they kind of knew that 100 Thieves were playing this passive mid side, and they took advantage of it often and often with GMD and also Sean creeping up on that side. They looked beautiful for Gen.G on the attack.
Veli, their game plan. Flawless on the side of Gen.G. That's kind of what he was talking about there. And we can see just how many rounds we were able to get out of Gen.G's attack. And you can even see it here. Look at this. Frag wins 12-3. They only run a round by objective once.
Too many rounds, Bach. Hey, Bach, I'm going to be honest. I was going to jump in when Vance was talking because when it comes to preparation, 100 Thieves, that's a name that comes to mind when you think about a team being ready for a matchup with the counter strats. I didn't see it at all. Matter of fact, my notes from the very first day we did Masters on Gen.G on Ascent, they did exactly what everyone thought they would do. They like to turn on the pressure to go mid after pistol rounds. That's how aggressive they think. Sean leads the way. Win goes A main constantly, but the thing is, if he gets the kill, he's not aggressive. He backs up and helps his team mid. That is a Gen.G default. That is a Gen.G classic right there. 100 Thieves, when they were on defense, they gave up the entire mid to Sean and GMD. We saw the second round when GMD went all the way up, got a kill and spawn, and then just took a shortcut to A. 100 Thieves, I don't know what's happening on Ascent. And I'm not going to say like, yeah, 100 Thieves, excuse me, Sentinels broke them, but they can't seem to get it together with the comp lineup that they have on how to defend on this site. They've been abused and exposed with the open lanes that's there. So I think going to a map like Icebox that allows them more space to use their utility, they're going to be fine. But from what we saw right there, Gen.G, they came ready to play and win.
Looking at the next map as well, Potter, we're looking at Icebox. We talked about it coming into Ascent. They don't really have many flashes outside of Paranoia. Is that going to be a problem here on Icebox for them as well?
That's a good question. You know, you talk about Icebox, we're looking at 100 Thieves composition. It's going to be a mirror matchup here. They're going to have the same composition and those lack of flashes. I do think that on Icebox, though, because of the elevation, the different verticalities, you're not just going into a choke point looking at the same levels. You're able to go on top of pipes. You're able to go on top of tubes. You're able to peak these tight choke points at different verticalities. So the lack of flashes, it shouldn't be quite as big of an issue on Icebox as it was on Ascent, but 100 Thieves, they're a little slow out the gate because even that Sentinel series, the first map, it was very much a bully fest. Sentinels completely in control. I think 100 Thieves, they should be able to bounce back though on this second map.
When you say 100 Thieves are slow out the gate, I think that the moment that gate opens, they need to come out swinging and running. We all saw the last round when Gen.G was on attack, right? Exactly, Potter. We all saw the very last round where Steel pushed out of garage with the op and got a 3K on the flank. That was the first big time we saw them utilize that aggression. And on a map like Icebox, we expect that to happen often. But go ahead, Vance, what you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, Veli, is looking at the compositions, though, of these two teams, if it's going to be the same going into Icebox. The green light, or at least the mode of salvation for 100 Thieves, is that Gen.G, they're not playing with a Sage in this composition, although Gen.G looked very good on this map versus TSM in the close qualifiers, right, moving into the Masters. Hopefully 100 Thieves has something planned versus that, because it's their map pick.
Well, you say that, Vansili, but last time Sean swapped out the Reyna for the Stage on Icebox, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually run that composition again. Sean, he seems to be one of those players that's able to really juggle around with those different approaches, and he looked damn good on that battle stage, so maybe?
You know what it was? I think the other Sean, Caster Sean, called it out. He said, you know, I kind of don't want to do this, but there's going to be one player that needs to step up, and it's going to be that Sean. I'm going to be honest. I think Sean being on a duelist is a big reason why Gen.G was successful. We all saw the spots where he was able to win those 2Ks and 3Ks on the simple fact that he's Reyna and he had options to not only overheal, but to dismiss and get out the way. When you have those type of options against 100 Thieves where they play ultimately passive, then the whole ballpark is yours. The real estate is there. You can go into any gunfight the way you want to, and with the duelist like that, with the flash being available, you're already on the 1-up against 100 Thieves.
Vansili, a little flashback to the last stage of Challengers. 100 Thieves and FaZe faced off on Icebox, and they got clapped pretty hard on that attacking side. FaZe had up 9-3 advantage coming out of that first half. And FaZe basically just held W against 100 Thieves. Now, obviously, two different teams, two different play styles.
Yeah.
So you can't really compare the two. But this is the first time we've seen them play Icebox since that matchup. And you have to ask yourself if that's ever going to play as a background in their minds. Like, if we see Sean get off to an early start getting aggressive, start doing things that Sean does, regardless of what agent he ends up playing.
Yeah.
Is that something that could be a problem for them?
I don't think so. I mean, if we go back to what Potter was saying, where Sean is going to play a Sage, potentially play a Sage, we might not see the type of play style as FaZe, for example. FaZe is a whole different beast. And how they were able to lock down 100 Thieves on that map was they were able to lock down Asuna. They had Baby Bay was like, okay, and he mentioned it in Mars' interview, was like, if I see Asuna or I see somebody else speed up Baby Bay, I'm going to go for Asuna. At this point, is it going to be that type of play style where you want Sean to start targeting Asuna for 100 Thieves? The playstyle is too different for these two teams that I don't think it's going to come too much into a conflict for Asuna at that point.
That has always been one of the big pieces to this team. It's just eliminate the threat of Asuna. And when we're looking at Icebox, you know, we've talked about the agent compositions and how things have switched around. When we saw what looked like a really strong roster for 100 Thieves with Nitro on the Omen playing on this map, he was so effective in that lurk role. Christine, do we feel like Ethan is starting to get more comfortable in that sort of position, being a little bit more versatile with his Omen play?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, that's one of the positives coming in for 100 Thieves is the fact that Ethan has completely transitioned over so well. And that's a little bit a part of the team, the squad, setting him up for success, making sure that he's comfortable. But that's a lot of bit of Ethan, just a testament to what a gamer he is, an absolute stud of a gamer, right? So that definitely plays a role. And honestly, I'm looking at Asuna. He's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders being that lone duelist. But at the same time, when Asuna presses tab and he looks at this player list, he's 100% thinking, I'm the best player in this server right now. So that kind of confidence, it should give him a little bit of an edge, a little bit of that X factor coming into this Icebox.
All right, well, we do have the casters standing by and ready to take us into Icebox to see if 100 Thieves can heat up a little bit on the coldest map on Earth. Let's take a look and see what they've got.
Thank you, Borg.
We can't let
making
him
sure
get away with these jokes. He can't get away with this.
I was gonna leave it, man. I feel like you just gotta let the public decide. What do you think, though, Sean?
What about his joke or about the map?
The dad jokes. I don't know. I feel like we should move on though. I feel like that's probably the best move, and I think that's obviously what 100 Thieves are having to do too from that first map. Place it out of their mind. They're going into Icebox. They're confident here, and I think you mentioned it, Sean, previously. There's a lot of things that I've seen from 100 Thieves that I think is really awesome on this map. The way that Steel plays with Killjoy, the way that they default, they drop the dot cover in mid, they get the alarm bot in there, the way that Steel plays also retake and also defensively on the B side. There's lots of cool things that I feel like are quite unique to 100 Thieves playstyle, but that's all out there. That's all data that's out there, and so far Gen.G have shown to us that if there is data out there, it's going to be studied and they're going to have an answer for it.
Yeah, I mean, you have watched a lot of 100 Thieves VODs on Icebox, and I think you know a lot about Steel's approach. How do you think he's going to approach that lurk position, given what happened in the first map? Like, you want to shed some light on what you're going to expect out of Steel?
It's really difficult because I don't know what the adjustments will be, because it depends so much on what Gen.G will do. And I feel like, I mean, I might be able to throw the question back at you. Do you feel like there are teams that, when you're trying to anti-strat, when you're trying to deal with a team, do you want to see whether or not they're already trying to adjust to what they expect from you first? Like, because I feel like you don't want to change things necessarily prematurely just because you expect that the other team might have an answer, but you might want to test it first. So I would expect to see the same, and we'll go into that because we're jumping straight into the pistol here between Gen.G and 100 Thieves, and Gen.G, Win's going to start things off nicely.
So aggressive. Mikhail's so aggressive over here. He's droning in B lobby on defense. How is 100 Thieves going to break this B site? They're pinched.
Yeah, it's looking quite difficult, but it is a pistol, and they can certainly shoot their way out of a situation like this, although they are losing firepower by the moment. As Asuna goes down, Steel now joins the ranks of the Fallen. Nitro with a quick double to respond, but it's just too much damage from Gen.G, and I gotta say, it looked like Gen.G were very prepared for that wall mid-strat and go under tube into the B site. That is something that I've seen a lot of teams really like recently when they are running that stage.
Yeah, and if you looked at the A site, what you saw was a wall over there. So Sean, who was playing the Reyna on the prior map, is now playing Sage. What an insane difference in roles. He walls the A site to allow a quick rotation. Meanwhile, Win's playing so aggressive at B. That opening frag at B really, really hurt 100 Thieves because it made the hit super one-dimensional, and they're in the center of the map. So there's people in long B, there's people in B site, there's people in market, there's people in spawn, there's people flanking mid from A, and it's just too many angles at that point for 100 Thieves to take care of. Ooh, farming the orbs. Man, Gen.G looks really good.
Yeah, they definitely do. Just have to deal with this eco round, and they'll be good to go into that first gun round. Kusa able to maintain lots of control by himself here, using the turret. He's got the alarm bot on the left side too, in case he has to fall back and they can timing through. Don't cover there to deny Kusa's vision. Kusa can't really afford to go closer than he already is, lest he risk too much.
He has that alarm bot though, so he has an alarm bot telling him if someone gets any closer than this start cover. And there's a turret also spotting.
Marshall is extremely strong. And we'll give Kusa a couple kills. And 2 for 1 there is huge. They haven't gotten any position yet, the attackers. So getting a 2 for 1, certainly something that they will find to be quite acceptable. In the meantime, Nitro able to walk up into kitchen. He might actually find a timing where they don't know, or where they are not aware as to his position, and he could use that element of surprise to turn the tables here. Nitro has the ability to somehow find a way for 100 Thieves to win this round, but he's got to find some kills. Spots one player, he goes straight for it. No trigger discipline, just go in for it, trying to find the next play. He knows there's got to be somebody else around, and he's scouting out all this information. Spotted out another one, but Sean is quick to the frag. Eco, though, able to trade, and that's going to allow the spike to go down. So that's money in the bank, but can they actually win from this position? It's not looking too bad here. They managed to get time to get into post-pass positions by B-Long, by Yellow. There's Window. I love that. The dash on top. That's so smart. What a move from Win.
Every play Win made in that 2-on-2 was excellent, right? As him and his teammate are running up middle into the B site, he up traps into the site. What does that do? It creates 2 different elevations. So he's peeking up top, Mikhail's peeking below, but he's doing this so quickly on the fly. And then as Mikhail's dart tags the guy behind Yellow, he dashes on top of it, knowing he can get a really crazy one-on-one with the guy along B. Because the guy below him, I mean, he knows exactly what's going on below him. That guy has been pinged by a recon dart. So he's safe from that fight. Everything he's doing is not only very aggressive, it's very calculated. And I really like how he's approaching this jet roll.
Yeah, totally agree. And it's going to be a massive bonus here. The 3 pistols being carried through. Not really going too much investment, but 100 Thieves going aggressive here to meet this in the A site. And it's looking kind of crazy. Win on a Spectre.
They walled up. That's so sick. They walled up.
Oh, that's beautiful. I actually missed that too.
I've never seen that.
Oh, I love that. It'll be interesting to see if we...
So fast.
I wonder if we'll get more of that in the rest of this half.
Quite unlucky, though. They take out the 2 players that really don't matter much on Icebox, right? If they took out the Omen, hitting this B site would be almost out of the question. It would be so difficult to hit this B site without smokes. But he's alive, so both sites are open. You can see Gen.G is kind of fishing around, and they're going to get caught off guard on this rope.
Ooh.
Enemy remaining.
Eco able to take down both players, finishing it off. Only losing 2, but again, the investment from Gen.G was quite minimal. So I don't think that they're going to be too disappointed by that.
loved that wall, Dan. That wall was amazing. I've never seen a Sage aggressively wall, I mean, herself and a teammate up onto the catwalk so quickly. Those guys were up there immediately, and 100 Thieves was super aware. If they didn't have all 5 players there, I think Gen.G might win that little skirmish.
Let us hunt.
I just love the creative Sage walls. It's just beautiful to see. We come down to the back of A. Freaking Goss exchange on A. Lots of presence around mid, though, going up the tube.
Ooh, op versus op, Dan.
Oh, Steel is ready for that one, though. Better position on him. GMD now, does he want to make a play? He's going to hear some movement, so he could decide to just talk to his teammates and tell them what's going on. He could try to get the flank going. But he's just going to stay passive and hold on to the tube position as 100 Thieves go to finish on the B site.
So Mikael just droned A and saw nothing. He's cheating over to B now. They'll have 3 people here before the hit. Yeah, like you said, this kills play all. So Recon gets a ping, and now we're in a 5-on-3. Things get real difficult for Gen.G here.
Ooh, is he gonna make it? Oh no, GMD can't get out of the radius in time. He did get a kill though, and he's not going to get punished. So that actually was a pretty strong play, but the res comes through from Nitro. 100 Thieves really wanting to make sure they'll secure this one. Michael taking down Steel though. That makes it a 3 versus 4 in this retake, and right now the defenders are knocking on the door and the spike was only just planted. There's lots of time. The paranoia goes out and the swing behind yellow commences. The trades are not looking good though here for Gen.G. 100 Thieves looking to convert this one. Michael though wants to make it sting at least. Able to get anything more. So lots of powerful ultimates burned there from 100 Thieves, but they do come away with the victory, and they still have a Hunter's Fury and a Showstopper. So not looking too bad now, 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and for those watching at home, kind of wondering like the pace, who's winning this match. When I've been watching Icebox lately, it seems like the map is super attack-sided. Particularly when you have a decent comp and you have a Sage in play, so you can wall at B, wall at A, kind of get the plant down and then play a post plant. So I think things are falling right into line where you would expect them. If Gen.G starts running away with this half, I think then we end up in a weird scenario where I would heavily favor them.
See right now how passive 100 Thieves are. They're expecting with the anticipation that their opponents have that eco rounds, that's Gen.G would get aggressive somewhere, and they're just not doing it. You know, we had that wall on A previously to get aggressive, but this time around, nothing doing for Gen.G. Somewhat forward positions, but they're letting 100 Thieves make the move. And 100 Thieves, of course, at this point, they've burned quite a lot of time off the clock. They've got to start moving towards the site.
Yeah, they've got nothing. They've wasted a lot of time, and they have nothing, Dan.
They're going towards win here as well. He has the knives out. This is scary. Oh, he's going to get spotted, and with that drone spotting him, he wants to go aggressive. He's going to just drop down into this cubby. And there's lots of cubbies here to work from for win.
Yeah, they're going A. They're terrified. They're definitely going A here. You can see the spike rolling back to A. 3 players going there. Mikael's droning. He's going to spot this, but these guys have no chance of making it into the site in time.
Nightmare's over.
That's going to take down GMD as well. So
30 seconds
things
left.
looking a little bit easier. The Hunter's Fury is available for Michael, but you don't want to commit that unless you feel like you have a good chance to win the round. Oh, huge pick from Steel. Absolutely massive picks from Steel. He's not stopping just yet as well. On that operator, on the Killjoy, he's been something of a revelation for 100 Thieves. And although they're supposed to win this round, there were a lot of landmines laid out by Gen.G that 100 Thieves managed to evade.
I mean, things looked really scary for a second there, especially when Hiko's drone missed Win. He got really close. You just felt, you know, the Korean jet vibe, just right click, dash, like just chaos, right? We all felt it coming, but 100 Thieves thought better. I think Hiko maybe gave some good comms from that drone info, and they just rolled back to A and just take a free site. Good mid game from 100 Thieves to stabilize there. Op versus op again here at A. Oh no, Win has a rifle here. So Steel's gonna end up peeking into him, and this is interesting because this is a cool little smoke setup.
This Fury coming out there. Nice find by Win. Takes down Steel. That's a massive pick. Another one, the trade attempt late from Hiko fails. That's going to leave 100 Thieves in a very bad position. They have to work B now, and there's going to be sound cues there for GMD, who's sitting in middle by Orange, so he's going to know exactly what's going on. The rotation's coming through.
how does 100 Thieves stabilize here? It seems so difficult in this 3-on-5.
planted.
Get the spike down. That's a huge win, but Nitro's still really low.
There is a showstopper available for Asuna, but Ethan's going to take the forward battles. They know they have to get some early wins here on the fights to make this even possible, but it's not looking too good. We've got Nitro playing by the wall here in this gap. Really scary position. Asuna caught throwing the paint shells, and although Nitro gets that pick and is playing around the wall so well, there is only so much that he can do. And that's going to be Gen.G with the retake, surviving with 3 players. So pretty good look for them.
Definitely good look. And there's the res for the Econ. Wynn's about to lock it in once everyone gets their weapons. I think he's going to go look for that operator over at the A site. You can see Kusto's booking it. He's trying to get to the operator that Steel had. So they're going to get Wynn that op for next round. Really smart play to not stick the defuse. On the other side of the coin, though. Oof. 100 Thieves. You know, it's that phase syndrome I'm getting right now, right? Where Wynn took those fights to people on 100 Thieves, and he's conditioning them to not want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing so aggressively. He's making them want to use utility more than they probably want to, more than they planned on doing, because he's aggressively just winning the fights.
And we have a 2-man setup here on B-Long. Again, it's going to be this operator from Wynn, which they may not expect, plus GMD early in the early timings, but nothing going on there, so GMD rotates. Oh, and it's a very fast push through mid here, going straight over Boy. Let's see what can be found with his showstopper. Oh, the rocket sent, but it will not find its target as Gen.G are defending extremely well right now. Steel with a nice double to give a chance here for 100 Thieves. And he's going to be able to make his way into the site as well. But there's only so much that he can do. Win with such a good pick. And it leaves Ethan in the 1v3 now. And the spike's in the middle of the open here, and that's going to be very difficult for Ethan to recover. He's got a smoke now available. Looking to take the fights though, and a win with one straight inside of his head. 4-3 and Win. Just as you said, Sean, you know, it's crazy we didn't talk more about him in the pre-game, but he's looking very decisive on Icebox so far.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous rotate. I mean, that's exactly what you would want. If your Jet is opping B, right, and totally out of the picture, and you have this insane mid-A split coming in for 100 Thieves that you rarely see, right? A wall, and then a pre-slow on Boiler, the ramp. Asuna, you know, ulting up, satchelating into the spawn. It was so aggressive. But when repositions deep in defender spawn on top of that little roof, and he just outplays them perfectly. Oh, dear.
That's nasty. Not sure about that Cloudburst, but it's cool at least. And, oh, hello. Oh.
Yeah, I hate to see that.
Well, at least Win escapes with his life. And 100 Thieves again left in a position where they're in trouble. Steel is lurking towards the A site, but it's a very delicate dance. And you can see that Sean is anticipating that this is possible. Right now, Gen.G leaving the player on A tells us they know that Steel likes to lurk those spots. And Asuna, though, he's so deep towards Snowman, getting these frags that that's surely going to convince the rotation. But the running's hard of Steel, and it looks like it was a beautiful hold from Sean. He waited long enough to catch Steel out. With that said, though,
a huge miss from Hiko. Now we're in a 3-on-2, and this could literally go either way.
Yeah, it's looking very tough. Nitro, oh, he's going to find this kill, and he will. Takes down Sean, leaving Kusta. 1 versus 2 now. And they're going to play this so disciplined. I say that, the swing comes through from Nitro, and he's good off the first shot, and that's going to be a wrap. Very back and forth here now, 4 against 4.
Very, very back and forth right now. I mean, it is 4-4, but if I'm observing this game from an analytical point of view, it does seem like Gen.G's ahead. And it takes a miracle out of Asuna pushing through a smoke, you know, finding this blind opening onto the B site. He has no help. No one's with him, right? He has to find these frags to bring his team back in the round, and luckily he does. He had so much impact, though, on that entry.
Well, we're going to get a fast one, it looks like, towards the A site, though. Just Sean there. The rest of Gen.G are pushing mid and well, at least position around B long, so they are in retake territory, whether they like it or not, if the pace continues here from 100 Thieves. So for Sean, you know, he's dropped that wall, and you can see a contact here from 100 Thieves. They don't want to give the game away, but with that said, the positioning of Gen.G, they should surely know exactly what's going on right now.
Ooh, that's a lot of info on a drone. The drone clears all of the site. You can see 100 Thieves just walks on in, plants the spike. Now we just get chaos here. They're gonna break the wall, so it's a little bit easier for them to defend the site.
Drone going through as well.
This retake is very tense. It means a lot for both of these teams, Dan.
Both Killjoy ultimates coming down, the lockdowns in play. Sean trying to lurk out there. He's got the ability to just get out there a little bit and get back behind the radius. Win going in though. Again, trying to find the difficult timing. Nitro, he's going to get traded off of that. So it was probably worth it though, taking down Win with those knives. Asna defending close by the spike, able to get traded out as well. So Gen.G are making ground. They're making distance. The trades are going their way so far, but it's a 2v2. And it's going to be Ethan to just take it all. 100 Thieves winning that by a hair.
Ooh, he got the 140 Phantom Dink and clutched out the round. Oh man, Ethan winning that round, just clawing through, bringing 100 Thieves to 5 rounds. That's a big round too, because if you look at the economy on Gen.G, this is where 100 Thieves starts to stabilize. If they just secure their economy here, have a clean round, they likely run away with this half at this point.
More of a mid focus coming through this time around for 100 Thieves, and that might catch this tube walk that we're about to see, or maybe vice versa. Not expecting to see a Bucky right there at that time of the round, and now still is with him going down there, dropping the operator as well. GMG's going to use the dark cover to absolutely crush with the Bucky, and I don't know how the hell he's getting so much value. Asuna dropping off to find Win at least to give some kind of a chance here, but that is outrageous. And you know what? I feel like it is just desserts for Steel, being on the receiving end this time of the Bucky.
That is very true. He deserves it. He deserves it. That's karma. That has to be karma, right? Just getting buckied like that.
Yeah.
After all the bucking we've seen out of him.
I feel like if we could see his face, he'd just be nodding and just be like, yep, that makes sense.
These guys are going to walk into the A site. And again, Gen.G is playing full retake on this A site. And I think if 100 Thieves just, walks into the site and everything goes like it seems like it's going to go, we're going to see a lot more A hits in the future. Because they're now realizing the A site is a little bit weak.
The showstopper is up for Asuna, so that does actually make this quite scary. Being able to defend and use that showstopper as the defenders come in to retake through these choke points might give opportunity for at least one free kill out of that ultimate. And then it's a 2v3, and they're going aggressive actually around screen. I love this. Instead of falling back, like you might expect, they know they have to get early kills. Oh, the jump peek is genius. Showstopper out. Incredibly key frags coming through from Ethan. Asuna though in the 1 versus 2, very doable. Playing around 410, seeing what he can find, looking for the 1v1. And he's going to find it. My God, Asuna! That's insane! Just one more to go as he buys time, working his way back around 410. And he's going to see Sage, and he's going to take him down. Great play from Asuna for the Red Bull clutch. My God, Sean, this guy is nuts.
That was absolutely beautiful from 100 Thieves. It's one of the few times we've seen them bring the aggression. And again, it comes from the young star in Asuna, right? They take that push towards screens. You said it was such a good play. I couldn't agree more. They could not have fallen back and played that 4-on-2 passive and won it. They get proactive. Ethan gets the 2 frags. It then is in Asuna's hands to close out the last 2. And who better on 100 Thieves than him to do that right now?
Big plays. All started with the Bucky this time. The operator! Oh, looked like a collat almost. But it is traded out this time. You can see that 100 Thieves are adapting to the shenanigans around Tube, and they get the res off too, securing the 5 versus 4. Meanwhile, Eco's getting that info. He's clearing out those positions towards A, and it's got to feel very confusing for Gen.G because right now, 100 Thieves kind of resetting the situation. They could go anywhere right now.
Yeah, and they walled mid to peek into B. Steel goes down again. Opening death twice in 1 round. I can't feel too good. But Asuna, this man is mad right now.
Yeah, but he just doesn't care. We get the res coming out from Sean, though. That puts it back to a 3 versus 3. It's kind of crazy. Kusa with a swing. That elevated position around B long. And Nitro, easy punish onto Michael. Trade through from Sean. And now it's up to Sean to try to clutch with Sage. He's got an Ice Orb. That's basically it in terms of utility. He has full HP at least. And right now, you know, there's 30 seconds, so not too much pressure on 100 Thieves. They've got time to get this spike planted. Sean might get caught here on the rotation. The flick comes through. Ethan is not going to whiff that. That's going to be the the 7th round in favor of 100 Thieves.
Before the switch.
And the importance of that 4-on-2 eco, you can just feel it right now. You can just feel how important that round was to just how this match is playing out right now. We go from potentially a tied game to now, you know, ending the half at maybe 8-4. I mean, this doesn't seem like an 8-4 half for 100 Thieves, but they won the important rounds and they won a couple huge clutches. They're battling back, especially Ascent. I can't state that enough. He is having so much impact.
Bomb grenade out.
Kusta still, you know, trying to keep control of this B-long position. It's a very difficult position. Gonna have to fall back here. Does have support from GMD on the site. 100 Thieves look pretty committed towards this. They've got Steel in mid, as you'd expect. And Win is walking down cheap as well, so he might find Steel. That's in the meanwhile.
GMD spotted by the recon, Dan. Little bit of a misplay right there. He thought he could slime away, go on the left side of the yellow. He just didn't work out. Still about to get shotgun twice in a row in the same way.
I feel like...
Oh, dear. The mauled will be building.
I want to see it. Oh, he whiffs the shot. He even gets the shot off too. And that's the job of the operator to win, no less. The Jet. That's fantastic for Gen.G's chances here. Equalizing into a 4 versus 4. The spike still needs to be planted in this position. Oh, peeks through the nano swarm. Kusta, what a genius. So confident, is knocking every player down. There's only Hiko remaining. Out comes the Hunter's Fury. He wants to find Kusta. He knows he's low. He wants to destroy that lockdown. But you know what? He's going to get absolutely annihilated by Sean. And that is going to be 5 rounds for Gen.G at the end of the first half. This Icebox is on right now for both of these teams. We're seeing so much great stuff either way, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, Bach did mention this is the coldest map, Dan, and revenge is indeed a dish best served cold. Oh. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I had to do it. The shotguns coming in onto Steel. It feels so poetic. It feels like he should be getting shotgunned after what we've seen lately.
I respect, but also hate you.
Yes, I know.
All right. I mean, you said it on Ascent as well, and a pistol is always extremely important. Gen.G obviously trailing here, and are we looking to see any shenanigans off the bat here from these initial positions? Doesn't look like it.
Looks pretty standard from 100 Thieves, if I'm being honest. Steel alone at A, though, kind of interesting. We don't really see much Killjoys soloing A like this anymore, but he has some help from Ethan with the smokes. Gen.G is going to come into him, though. They're definitely coming A here. Probably behind Mikhail's drone.
Oh, and there's a push garage as well from B-Long, and he spots it, so he's able to at least fight. They push him, and they're not going to push him just yet. The rotation is very far away at this point. He's just trying to... Oh, no, he's going to go down. Didn't disengage quickly enough, and Sean with the wall there to try to get something going. Oh, the classic, the jumping classic from Sean. That stings for Steel. Didn't know what hit him, and now 4 versus 4.
On the flank, Dan.
And the spike is planted, and as you say, up on the belt, so it's a pretty difficult position to deal with. Ascent can just toy with them. He doesn't even have to commit to any fights to be an absolute pain in the ass for Gen.G, but Gen.G have the man advantage right now. Here comes the push straight through. Ethan opens it up nicely, and Ascena's paint shots come through as well. So great stuff from 100 Thieves, able to pick it up. But spike did go down, so I wonder if we'll see some force fire action in the following round.
Yeah, I mean, the last time that I really took an in-depth look at Gen.G playing Icebox, it was around the Stinger meta time, and they had a ridiculous mid-B split. It looked amazing. I hope we get the chance to see it again at some point this game, but it might be like one of those Stinger exclusive type strats. It's a treat. Honestly, they just basically fly through mid with a Sage wall. I think they might be doing it. Oh my god. This is going to be epic. Are you ready, Dan?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Strapped in. I'm ready to get in the brace position. Up mid they go. It's a dark cover there. Oh, that's a big recon. It will get taken down though. And They're going up
This is
tube
just
into
a slimy
kitchen.
strat. They're just all slimy into kitchen right now.
And that kitchen position. Steel's getting close with the Bucky. Looking for that revenge. Here comes the Bucky. Steel's not going to find anything with the Bucky. 2 kills going towards Gen.G, but here comes Nitro. They have the Spectres. They should be able to clean up most of these players. Spike's planted though. That's a lot of money again in the bank. Going to help out Gen.G, regardless of what happens here. But still, Nitro's looking to see if he can find that cleanup. That Spectre. Of course, you don't want to overexpose yourself here. And there goes the Bucky. Dropped by Steel. Put to great use. Really scary here now as Ethan tries to find his way onto the side. Gets tagged by the drone. Oh no. He does manage to take down Win though. Another player around the corner. Ethan still picks it up. Alone now against Kusta in the 1v1. Time is starting to be a problem. There goes the Nano Swarm. Oh, Kusta with the Ghost. It just does too much damage. And Gen.G good for the Thrifty. He said they slammed their way up into the kitchen, and it certainly worked.
Wow, yeah, that is not at all what I expected. When I saw them all gather on mid, I thought they would have this explosive utility usage where they just run through mid. They just kind of lurched their way into the kitchen and just, overwhelmed all the players on 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves never, ever saw that coming. At no point were they ready for that amount of people that pushed up. And it looked like, Gen.G would just swarm a player. Whenever they see someone, they would just swarm them. And 100 Thieves just kept getting taken out in unfavorable duels.
Oh, getting the mid aggression, going straight back out from 100 Thieves. Getting up close to that dark cover. Kusta's here to watch plays. I don't know if he's going to be able to take down all these players. Whoa. He's even getting pre-fired before they come through the smoke. Sean, though, is ready. Great angle. Really favorable angles coming in here for Gen.G as they take the fight back to 100 Thieves. And Sean, pop, and they're all gone.
Whew. Whew. My doppelganger just literally flicking on heads over there. Gen.G, Sean. Gathering the res, too. So it's important that someone like Sage gets plants in. They get easy eco frags because the res is so important in pro play. Getting these rounds where you can have a throwaway life, someone can play super aggressive. You can have Win, take this operator and just updraft onto the railing right now and take a super aggressive fight. And normally you would never want to do that in a round like this. So this is gonna be really cool. He did it. He updrafted right away. Meanwhile, GMD's also being aggressive at B. So you can see the power of the res. The power of the res is just freedom to have aggression.
GMD is actually so scary right now what he's doing. He's
look
not
where he is.
stopping at all. He's just pressuring so hard right now, and that's going to really feel very strong. And I like this though. 100 Thieves trying to actually respond by taking mid control, but they're getting punished for doing it.
Both B players are down, and someone's already in B that they aren't even aware about, Dan. There's already an Omen here, and he's killing Hiko in the side of the head in mid. The round is over, Dan. It's a 5-on-2. These two players are on A, and Gen.G has no intentions of heading that way. Great round by Gen.G off the back of that frag from Kusta.
Oh, they're just... Gen.G are playing so much... I feel like they're playing so much better across the board. It's from just a week ago. I really felt... I didn't feel underwhelmed a week ago, but I didn't feel like they had that Dark Horse... or that potential to be a good Dark Horse pick. But right now, as you said, they're looking fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, they did this round with the polar opposite aggressions, right? GMD pushing through B, Win pushing by A, and the plan was initially to go to A, but that changes when people come mid into Kusta, right? People actively tried to find Kusta, and they paid the price. He shut down the star fragger Asuna on a Killjoy lurk roll, right? And that changes everything. People come back to B, they catch Steel in the middle with an Odin, not really a favorable duel if I'm being honest. They take him out. I mean, the round's literally over at that point because of GMD's position, though. Gen.G looks really, really good.
Win on that operator is such a scary prospect too, and it doesn't feel like because we're not seeing that Jet on 100 Thieves, they don't have that same kind of danger factor that a Jet gives you. Like it's such a you can condition opponents so effectively with Jet because it just feels like everything could be scary.
This is gonna be fun.
Whereas I don't feel that way about how 100 Thieves have their composition right now. So that's just part of the nature of this.
Yeah, I think the scary thing with these Jets in pro play right now is they could play aggressive, they could play passive. And look at this wall. Oh my goodness. Ethan TP is on top of Nitro's wall. It doesn't matter. We're already in a 5-on-3 yet again.
Yeah, these eco rounds. It feels like 100 Thieves have had so many eco rounds across these two maps.
Gen.G, it seems like they've had the right answer and the right setup, the perfect counter every round so far. You can tell they've done their homework coming into this matchup. And if I'm being honest, like I don't see how 100 Thieves comes back into this game, because they're such a structured team that in order for them to win this game, they have to break that structure. They have to go into the unknown. They have to take the gloves off of some of their players, because everything they normally do is very readable right now.
Well, as you say about taking the gloves off, Sean, Nitro has taken everything off. He's just out there right now, exposed, but doing everything to keep this round alive for his team. Lane Screen's aware that there could be that mid lurk, just giving up some of the sites so that he can play with his team. It's a 3 versus 2 in favor of 100 Thieves, thanks to Nitro with those 2 quick kills. Time is a problem now as well. Win. The flick missed, and oh my god, the res comes in. Wins in a 1v4. He's got to get the spike. He's got to plant it, and he's got no time. The round is over. The round is over, and if Win survives this, that would be a miracle. Because what's up? It's Asuna right around the corner for the Thrifty. 100 Thieves were just literally just when they're getting counted out, Sean.
Yes.
They're back
I'm literally
in it.
live counting them out as they're bringing back this insane eco. But they did it in the way that I said they would need to, right? Nitro making this individual play. He's able to swing, right? The round has broken down. We're in an eco, and people are making individual plays for 100 Thieves. They need to do that on gun rounds. They need to have that approach moving forward, and not just when they're saving. I mean, they have that random style when they're saving because they know they have to catch people off guard to win the round. And that's a beautiful 3-on-5 they just won. But I still lack the confidence in them closing out this game from what I've seen, which is crazy for me to say, because 100 Thieves coming into this tournament, I thought they were the favorites to win it.
Yeah, they won first strike.
Yeah.
It's like they know how to win. All these
This is
players,
insane.
the lineup that they have, all these players are closers, all of them. At big tournaments, there's a lot to be said for the experience on their team, and I completely agree with you. But Gen.G, they're just bringing such a great level to this, but with that said, it's not over just yet. And this is just map 2. If you're just joining us, you might be in for a ride here, because Win pulls out the knives, he pulls out the blades,
He's coming at Hiko. He's coming at Hiko right now.
and he's looking for it. He gets it. Shears his head right off with those daggers, and that is a problem. You've lost your Sova straight away. Great pick to find.
It makes them all go to mid, Dan. 100 Thieves is massively out of position for either site right now. Gen.G has so many options after a pick like that. They're going to drone into B. The good thing for 100 Thieves is that the star player Asuna remains at this site.
One drone, but there's no info on A as well for 100 Thieves. They have to guess. As you said, they've got some play in mid to try to put the pieces together, and 100 Thieves do have position towards this site. There goes Asuna. Rocket comes out. Asuna, what can he find? He can't even pull the trigger. Win takes him out of the skies, and that's going to be a huge win for Gen.G. Win is not done just yet. Darting all over the place. The frenzy's in hand now that the blades are gone, and it's really no chance left in this one for 100 Thieves. They've got 2 players, and I don't think Ethan, he's out here because if he gets given a couple easy kills, they can maybe decide to try to do something, but it's just not being given. The discipline from Gen.G is there, and Win is looking to find the backs of one of these players, and he might just be finding both of them. Ethan is right below him.
Ethan has to save this weapon. Ethan absolutely has to save this weapon. You can see Sean on Gen.G's side is on the hunt. He is right behind Ethan.
Oh, that was close to it. 5 bullets left. He's not confident to be able to save that. He does have a couple dark covers, so there is, I think, was a possibility for that. But Kusta takes him down regardless. 9-9. We have a hell of a game on our hands here, Sean. And again, this is just map 2. And for those who missed the first map, Gen.G did manage to take down 100 Thieves on Ascent, which was Gen.G's map choice in convincing fashion. Gen.G looking phenomenal.
Yeah, it was such a convincing first map, and that's part of the reason why I think we're doubting 100 Thieves coming back into this game, even though we're sitting at 9-9. I mean, this is literally a tied game, but it feels like Gen.G is ahead.
You're completely right. I can't really understand the scoreline given that feeling. You're so right with that. But moving into this one is we're going to see Win actually moving towards A actually with the rest of his team. They've left GMD once again lurking towards that B-long position, entertaining the defenders who are looking for information, clearing these positions. They want info, and GMD might be giving it to them. He's going to back away though, and steals force out of the site pretty much.
If you look at this, then I mean, this is a Killjoy and an Opera. He doesn't have many movement options here. Like if this Jet pounces on him, he's in big trouble.
Nitro, that repeak, I feel like he wanted to try to get a wall or something here to slow this down, and the wall comes through, and that will allow him to put his attention elsewhere. Spike is planted. The mid play is actually being diffused by 100 Thieves, so 100 Thieves definitely looking a bit better on the retake than otherwise. They would have let these players up mid, and Asna, he's going to find the duel against Kusta, who is going to win it.
Wow, again and again, Kusa's winning this mid battle, Dan, and he takes out the star player on the retake.
We've got a res available on Sean as well, and there's no ultimates here for 100 Thieves unless Eco gets a kill. Nitro picks off Win, going aggressive on the stage. The battle stage coming through for 100 Thieves. Can he do it again though? Can he make the difference? He's doing it so far. Another headshot from Nitro as Michael goes down, hits the ground hard as Kusta is now just the only man left standing. He's going to have to try to get there in time, but Hiko, speaking of time, has none of it, and that's going to be the round for Gen.G, going down to the last.
Fall to it looked like 100 Thieves was going to retake that site. Everything was going so well. I think Nitro is keeping his confidence level high despite, you know, all of these unfavorable situations that keep happening to the team. His experience is allowing him to realize that he has to take over the game. That's what I'm feeling when I watch Nitro. A lot of peaks that he normally doesn't have, but he's doing it because he feels like he has to take his team over the finish line. And this is scary. This is scary for 100 Thieves. Look at their money. It's dwindling, Dan. They're going to have to save and give up 11 potentially.
Very scary situation to find yourself in. And man, it's crazy. It's just such a crazy game. We need it to go to 3, Sean. I think there was a fundamental need that we have.
I mean, out of all the options in the series, right? Like 2-0 100 Thieves, 2-1 100 Thieves, 2-1 Gen.G, 2-0 Gen.G. I feel like the 2-0 in Gen.G's favor would be the least picked option if I were to do a poll in the community before this game. It is, no one would say that. I mean, you would have no logical reason to say something like that. So this is a stellar performance we're seeing right now from Gen.G.
No, the operator, great kill onto Ethan. The jump heat comes through. You thought it was nerfed. Think again. Not in the hands of Win. And that's an very early 5v4.
Here.
And let's look at it this way too. With the ecoing team, one of the ways that you can mitigate a disadvantage that you have in weapons is with your numbers. And having a player picked off early like that makes it so much better for the attackers. Such a big relief for Gen.G to get that early find.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at 100 Thieves right now, 1, 1, 1, 1. They're all split across the map. You mentioned having numbers and areas could help on ecos. They're doing the exact opposite. But part of the reason is because of that opening pick. It puts so much doubt in your heads, right? You have to spread out and figure out what's going on.
And Gen.G, they're playing it perfectly. They're just using the time to suggest that they could be doing anything. And there it is. They show their hand, moving up B long. When able to clear some of these close positions, and if they can get to yellow, then the wall actually goes up. That's an interesting one. That might help buy time for this rotation for the defenders. It's 30 seconds, so they can't go back to the other side. Great pick from Asuna. 100 Thieves might be slowing this down just enough to give themselves a chance to win this round. There goes the Hunter's Fury, and this is now looking extremely bad for Gen.G. They've got to get the spike planted, but it's looking almost impossible. Asuna's putting the pressure on. Nitro is behind the wall, and they don't have time. The ult comes through, but they don't have time to get the spike there.
I don't think there's time.
There is no time. So long as they stay alive, as long as Asuna lives, the round is over. He's going to do it. He's going to be alive in time, and that's the red ball clutch coming through. My God. The delay. The delay was so important. That wall was genius.
What an an amazing wall, but then Asuna finding the pick over the wall, Hiko ulting to slow things down further, paint shells, you know, Boombot rolling around on the ground. It's just, it doesn't stop because Gen.G didn't give themselves time. And then when, unfortunately, I mean, GMD had the right play to ult to A, but he probably should have taken the spike with him because the spike couldn't make it. I mean, very unfortunate round there for Gen.G. We're at 10-10, and I mean, again, this is anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, I was wondering about the TP there in this fight, but that's a conversation for another time as we're into the thick of it. And a lot of pressure towards the A side of the map. This looks very default for Gen.G right now. GMD, you know, working the garage lure, keeping 100 Thieves honest, not being able to push that position against him. And right now, actually, you know, Gen.G, it feels like a lot of pressure, but they are still just pretty slow around this mid position as well, looking for any picks. And you could see that 100 Thieves are looking for something, but they've got to be so careful. You can't give up that first pick.
They have to be really careful, especially because, so Miguel, every time he's droned, they've gone to that site, is what I've noticed. But he just droned B, and they're now grouping A. So they've set a precedent of having that be a thing in their strats. And they are further faking this B strat. They bring the Killjoy ult over. And look, Dan, look at the rotations on the minimap. The only person left is Nitro.
Oh, but it looks like they realize what's going on here. This is not going to be all of the way. Win gets the opening pick, Ascent goes in, but Win responds in kind. Great stuff with the operator. Gen.G looking pretty damn good right now. It's only one player left, so even though 100 Thieves didn't fully buy the fake, it doesn't matter because they moved out of position enough that Gen.G were able to take them out. And maybe there's something to be said for the fact that 100 Thieves just were hesitant. They didn't know precisely what was happening, that they couldn't even think to just be playing for retake. But that gave the picks there to Gen.G to give them that round.
Dan, I think it's very, very telling. And I mentioned it in the first eco. But it seems like, I think 2 out of the 3 rounds 100 Thieves has won this half have been eco rounds. And it's because they're playing with a looseness to them on those rounds, where people they don't have defined utility. And they're just playing kind of freely. But on these gun rounds, it just looks like Gen.G is so drilled. They're outplaying them every single gun round I watch.
And they're just going to try to contact up B, and this is such a break of the default from Gen.G that this will not really be expected.
I think they're doing this because of the economy. It's like they just don't think that 100 Thieves has the economy to take these lines.
And so far, so good. Some of the early challenges will go the way of Gen.G. Nice shock dart kill from Hiko, and if they can find anything out of Asuna's operator, anything out of these sheriffs, maybe there's a world where this can happen. And he's going to go down by the crates. Asuna, you talked about not having much to fight the lines. They have that one big gun, and it's so far delivering. Asuna, will he try to go more aggressive with this? They're going to be forced to try to peek this. The dark cover comes through to block Asuna off. He's going to go forward as the spike defuse is coming in, and it's going to be defused. There's nothing that they can do about it.
Enemy remaining.
GMT is going to be able to take down one at the end, but 11-11, Sean, and this is just so
This
mad.
is insanity. This is actual insanity. I can't believe what we're getting to witness right here. And I rarely say things like this, right? In-game leader, like, I try to dissect the strats. Asuna and Nitro, on an individual level, ditch the strats. These guys are carrying 100 Thieves through this map right now. And if 100 Thieves steals this map, all the credit must go to those 2 players.
It must. Still working the operator from B long, much as we saw Kusta doing for Gen.G on their defense. When popping those blades, and again, the pressure comes through towards A. Again, we've seen this. This is the default. It's the jump peeking there to try to, be protected against any angles. Wall goes up in response.
I'm so scared for 100 Thieves right now, Dan, because this A site has proven to be very weak.
Oh, Oh, there we go. Win gets the right click. Looking for the second, and he gets it as well. Ethan goes down, and 100 Thieves, they needed Ethan to survive to get a kill, something. Playing retake now is going to be hard. They've got the lockdown from Steel. It feels like that's their best chance here in this one to take this round. Or do they save? I feel like there's so many questions right now for 100 Thieves, John.
I think they have to save this lockdown for an actual gun round. They're debating it right now. They need a pick. They need something to open up this round, and it's not coming. Gen.G playing so disciplined, and you can see Steel moving away from the site, pretty much insinuating this is going to be a save. 100 Thieves has to save these weapons and take them into the final round.
Oh, and
honestly, though, they might be worse with the weapons. From what we've seen this half, this might be the anti-logic play.
It's so crazy too, because oftentimes, you know, if you can get to play a retake, I feel like, you know, the chances are going to be a lot better. You know, Still could have used the lockdown. Oh god, that's scary. But they still could have used the lockdown, right? You could have had more players alive. Ethan could have survived perhaps, but because of the way these contact plays are going, much like with the fake, and they're not expecting to be in retake mode yet, they're getting caught in committed battles where they're losing. I love the drone combo into the updraft for Win to know exactly where to send those knives. And Ethan feels so much pressure to trade there, and it's just so difficult.
It's so difficult. I mean, the Jet dagger Win's so good with the movement. I mentioned it before the game. He's just floating. How can you have good crosshair placement if he's creating a new spot that you can't be aware of? It's brilliant Jet play coming out of Win all series long.
Ascent is getting aggressive in G, or at least looking to do so, maybe off the back of utility from a teammate. The recon goes out, and of course, if someone shoots that, he can peek. There's various ways he can play with that, but
he's lost this fight a lot, and he's coming back, Dan. Gusta's won this twice now. Does he win it a third time?
Oh, the alarm bot's genius. The drone comes through, though, and that's going to be the action that Ascent wants, and the alarm bot's going to send Ascent back as well, so somewhat of an even trade there. Such intensity early on as the play comes to a
shallow breathing. Dan, help me get through this. This is getting so tense. You can feel just the round slows down here. The A hit's going to come. 100 Thieves feel it coming. You can see 4 people kind of huddled around this site right now. Ethan with the information all further tells them this is going to be an A hit.
And this would be 100 Thieves eliminated from the tournament if they lose this round. It's all on the line here for 100 Thieves.
30 seconds left.
The situation is looking very grim, but there's not that much time to plant the spike, so they have to start moving forward now for that spike plant. Gen.G looking to get it down, and they will. And it's a retake here. Steel has the lockdown for that retake, but they've lost Nitro. They're in a 4 versus 5 on this one. Asna backside doesn't have the showstopper. He'd have to get 2 kills to get it. As he pressures forwards. Oh, he's going to use the wall here. He's going to find the pick onto Sean. And with that, maybe there's a chance. Window on the trade, playing the Pipe's position, dropping off. And there comes the Hunter's Fury as well from Michael. It goes from bad to worse here for 100 Thieves as they start to fall until there is just no more. And it's all Gen.G. They eliminate 100 Thieves and take out 100 Thieves 2-0 in convincing fashion on Ascent. And on map 2 on Icebox, the map previously that they've struggled on, they showed a new level. And I'm nothing but immensely impressed by Gen.G.
Yeah, I mean, you could harp on, you know, the falters coming from 100 Thieves throughout this series, but this is all about Gen.G today. This is the strides they've made as a team in the last month or two. To even qualify here seemed like such a hurdle for the roster. And now that they're in Masters, they're showing what they've got. They just 2-0'd Xset in the lower bracket, and now they 2-0 100 Thieves. Many people's favorite to win the entire event, to knock 100 Thieves out. This is a colossal win for, you know, the up-and-coming team in Gen.G.
It's crazy. Their next opponent will be the winner of Envy and Luminosity. But, of course, as always, to talk much more about that incredible match, it's now over to the analysts.
Well, okay then. Didn't exactly see that one coming. 100 Thieves gets eliminated by Gen.G. We were talking about it during that last map. Coming into today, this was probably a match that most people, even ourselves, had low expectations for. Looking at Gen.G, they just haven't really hit that stride. They've struggled to find that level of consistency. And we talked about it, Potter, coming into this series, something that was going to matter. was going to be Win. Was Win going to be the Win that we want to see, that flashy jet play when he really hits his stride and he could be potentially one of the top 5 players in North America? And he was. 100 Thieves had no solution.
Yeah, he absolutely was. And I mean, just the breathing room that all of Gen.G, it was a collective unit. You know, Quinn, he had those flashy moments, he had those highlight plays, but the control, I mean, Husta in the middle, winning out that duel versus Asuna multiple times. It really made 100 Thieves feel the pressure. They weren't ever able to get the information that they wanted, and in turn, it just allowed Quinn to freely dominate whichever bomb site he wanted to go to. And it helps that his knives, they were on point. He was not missing many shots here today.
You definitely wanted to give the amount of rounds for 100 Thieves. You needed as much as you can on the attacker side, because as Sean and Dan were mentioning, looking at how Icebox is being played these days, it favors the attacker side a lot. When you're able to pressure so many times towards the A side and force your opponents to play a retake quite often, then technically you should get more rounds here on the attack. And Gen.G definitely showed that, but their playstyle was a little bit different. They just played it more meticulous, they played it slow, and they were actually able to catch any type of position where 100 Thieves are at. Look at how many times they won fights towards that mid side, how many times Gusta won fights lurking towards that mid. Again, I think Gen.G, with MC as the coach, have been studying this team, have been studying 100 Thieves, and they look good, man. This was a great upset.
By the way, Bach, I just want to throw out there one more time. It's kind of crazy to see the fact that, once again, 100 Thieves they've lost the objective win category. And it's by double this time.
What's crazy to me is a stat you don't actually see on that. When you look at the scoreboard from that first match, or the second map, excuse me, Quinn had 10 first bloods. Double digits. That's kind of wild. The closest person was Nitro, who had 6. Or excuse me, the closest person was Asuna, who had 4. So that just really illustrates that jet diff coming into that series. Like, Win looked so incredibly good against 100 Thieves, and we talked about it, Potter. We talked about, okay, the flash difference. We talked about the jet difference. They don't really have all the pieces that some of these other teams have, and unfortunately, that is a part of their demise.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I just want to harp and compliment Gen.G a little bit more here, because as you say, Huynh, he was a part of so many duels across the board, whether it was the first death or the first kill, he's always involved, right? And of course, it's a bonus that he was hitting all of his shots, but that's not always how it happens. Sometimes you miss those shots, and we've seen Huynh miss those shots, but the fact that he's always getting back in there, always buying the space and gathering the intel for this Gen.G squad, it just collectively makes them look so successful.
He wasn't missing today, though, and you were asking me at the beginning of this map here, Bach, do you think we're going to see a same type of style, like an aggressive push towards the attacker side for Gen.G versus 100 Thieves? And I said, no, the playstyle might be so much different because you have Sean playing as Sage, but there was that very round where Huynh just actually jumped into the site, updrafted in the air, got the knives on the kill onto Nitro, and then went for the second one onto Ethan. So they still found good, and I think he had one on Hiko towards that boiler side too. So him getting those off angles on the updrafts with his knives has been really, really impactful in this map.
Well, looking at that first map, we've got one upset already on the day, but we've got another matchup coming up in just a minute, and it's another elimination match. It's going to be LG versus Envy. One of those teams will be eliminated from the tournament. Do we have potential to see who was coming in as the #1 seed in Envy getting knocked out in a lower bracket match that we didn't think they'd be in, and proving once and for all that Vansili is always wrong? We'll find out after the break.
Verizon believes everyone deserves the best. That's why we start with 5G from America's most reliable network.
Verizon 5G is next level.
Then give families plans to mix and match, so you only pay for what you need starting at $35.
It's so much more than just a great network.
And offer the best in entertainment on select unlimited plans, like Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, as well as Discovery Plus, with a Galaxy S21 Plus 5G when you buy one. There's no reason to settle for less than the best. Only from Verizon.
Apply now at redbullcampusclutch.com.